What up, everybody? Welcome back once again to the Real Nerdy Review. Your boy is back with a brand new video, and if you're new here, hit that like and subscribe button. So, we're gonna have a talk, man, because as everybody saw last night, Donald Trump is back in the White House. He is back as the President of the United States again. Kamala Harris lost in dramatic fashion, and Trump is basically back in the White House. And I wanted to give my thoughts on this. Now, y'all know I don't talk politics here on my channel, but I had to talk about this because there was some things I wanted to talk about, and I know it's the big thing to talk about right now. So let me go ahead and talk about it because everybody was covering it last night. So, here are my thoughts, you know what I'm saying? To see Donald Trump win in the fashion that he won is very shocking because there were so many states that were bled in red. You know what I'm saying? There were so many states that were just covered in red all over. There was barely any states covered in blue. You know what I'm saying? And here, I think this is where probably Kamala Harris messed up at. And I didn't watch any of her speeches. I wouldn't listen to what she was saying, but I'm just going off, what I caught from time to time. She messed up by honestly having, I'm going to say, Cardi B and having Megan Thee Stallion at her speeches when she was trying to convince people to vote for her to become the president. Because they're just not people that I honestly would want to have speak at any of my speeches. And plus, you got Megan Thee Stallion up there twerking. Then you got Cardi B with the history that she has. It's just not a good look. I don't know if she had Kelly Rowland up there. I don't know if that was a recent video or something old. I guess nothing wrong with Kelly Rowland, but Kelly Rowland doesn't have the influence of I'm gonna say Beyonce or Cardi B or Megan Thee Stallion. You know what I'm saying? But she's cool. But the only person I probably would have had up there was Beyonce because she's more respectable. You don't hear her coming out talking all this crazy nonsense. She was probably the only celebrity I would have had up there speaking on my behalf, trying to get people to sway the votes. You know what I'm saying? I was watching somebody else's video, and he was saying that he believes that the celebrity influencer, when it comes to trying to get people to vote for them, is dead. And I think that he is correct. Unless you got a younger, person out there, let me see, use like Kai Cenat or something like that out there talking, which I honestly would not have had him either up there on that stage. That's just my opinion, to try and get the younger vote. Some of the younger people out here may not care about, I'm just giving my opinion, who Beyonce is, as much as probably like, a streamer like Kai Cenat, or maybe somebody like a Cardi B or Megan Thee Stallion. But to me, I just would not have had them on the stage, just with the history that they've had. And then I was reading some parts of an article last night, and she was asked a question about what she would change that Joe Biden has done, with America. And she basically was saying, like, nothing. Pretty much saying she would just keep everything the way that it is. And I'm pretty sure that probably turned a lot of heads if people watched or read what she had to say. Now, the other thing is, she's already in the White House, right, as the vice president. And that right there was obviously probably not a good look. Because when you think about it, whenever she probably came out and spoke, she was probably coming out and saying when she gets in the White House and when she becomes president, people are looking at you and saying on social media, you're already in the White House, you're just the vice president. She was basically, not getting people's good side because they were looking at her like, you already in the White House, what are you talking about? So what I'm saying is she probably had to sign off on some of the decisions that Joe Biden made. And since she came out and said she wouldn't pretty much change anything that Joe Biden has done, that was probably a really bad look, because you look at the state of America that we're in, with inflations, with illegals, with all this stuff going on, with the job market being as bad as it is because all these companies are closing and people are losing their jobs. Obviously, she, siding with Joe Biden, and people obviously, I think are only having like a 46%, a good rate on Joe Biden for how much they like him, which is really bad because it's really low. Obviously, her siding with Joe Biden, the decisions that he's made, I'm pretty sure maybe she didn't sign off on all of them, or maybe didn't want to side with him on all of them. Her deciding to say, I pretty much wouldn't change anything, quote me if I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, that right there probably gave a lot of people all the information they needed to know about Kamala Harris, where they're like, oh, no, we're not going to vote for her. We're going to vote for the other guy. And I understand there's a lot of people out there who probably did not want to vote for Trump or Harris. They just didn't like either candidate. But at the end of the day, they're like, okay, well, we like what Trump is selling more than what Kamala Harris is selling. And quite honestly, I don't believe just because people voted for Trump, and I know all the stuff he did is fucked up, is messed up, excuse my language, that doesn't make people bad people. They just voted for, the lesser, who they believe who was the lesser of two evils. They didn't want to vote for Kamala Harris because they didn't like what she stood for. So they're like, okay, we're going to go over here and vote for Donald Trump. Now, I'm not going to speak on who I voted for. And to be honest, I wish, the opinions of everybody who they voted for wasn't out there. It's not saying that it's public knowledge, but it's not. But just, it wouldn't drive people crazy like it used to. I kind of wish it was back like how it was back in the early 2000s, where all this was just not as much public knowledge. But we live in a different time now where everything is out there and everybody can give their opinion. And I understand there's a lot of people out there that are freaked out, that are afraid, because you got a lot of people that were, disrespectful. I'm going to just say that were in the closet before Trump got elected, and once he got elected, they came out the closet, in droves. You know what I'm saying? And people don't like a lot of decisions that Trump has made when he was president the first time around, and they feel like it's only going to be worse now that he's president again. We're going to have to wait and see and just pray. Also, like I said, when it came down to Kamala Harris, they just don't like the fact that she, was rolling with Joe Biden. And that's another thing, man, with Joe Biden. It's really crazy to see how smart and how snap as a whip this man looked. If you go back and watch a lot of his videos from his early speeches from 2012 and before, the man was snapping. But now when you listen to what he has to say, it sounds like he can barely get his words out of his mouth and talk right. It sounds messed up, but it's true. There have been comparison videos. You can go look up Joe Biden 2012 compared to 2022, 23, 24, and you'll see the huge difference where they'll show back then in 2012 and 2011, the man was snapping. It sounded like he was on his shh. But now when you listen to him, it just sounds like the speeches are really slow. It sounds like he don't really got his words together. And a lot of people were seeing that he just wasn't there fully. So they're like, yeah, man, you got to step down as the person who's trying to run for president again, because you're just not all the way there. But I think the biggest thing is the fact that Donald Trump completely swept Kamala Harris with all these states. And like I said, it was so much red last night. It was unbelievable. And it's still unbelievable waking up to see it the next day. So everybody wanted to vote. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people wanted to vote Trump. Even maybe states where you think that Donald Trump wouldn't win. He did. And he cleaned house. And everybody is, just on pins and needles about what the direction of America will go in moving forward. And, I just pray for the best for everybody, man. Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no hate running over here. I pray for the best for everybody. I don't think just because everybody voted for Trump, it makes them a bad person. But, maybe it may have people looking at them sideways because they voted for him. But at the end of the day, Trump's back in the White House. And I think he's the first president since like I'm fumbling over my words here, since like 1892 or 1862, whatever it is, to be voted back in the White House again, but be voted in a non-concurrent way, because most of the presidents, they're voted in back-to-back. And obviously he wasn't the president for the last 4 years, and boom, now he's back in the White House again. So, when you look at Kamala Harris, you got to wonder, what did she do? What else did she do besides have celebrities show up that nobody really gave a F about? You know what I'm saying? I almost forgot Usher was there as well. But I just think that, when it came down to the bigger picture, she should have been focused more on, trying to talk about what she was going to do to change America. And I believe also in the article that I read that it was a lot of talk about her going at Donald Trump and trying to just put Donald Trump down, and not enough talking about what she was going to do to improve America. But maybe because she already liked what Joe Biden did, maybe that's why she spent a lot of time trying to throw Trump under the bus, because obviously she didn't have an issue with what Joe Biden has been doing with America, so she's just going to continue on that path, and maybe that's where everybody decided, oh, hell no, we not going to stick with this, we got to go in a different direction. So, I do want to know y'all thoughts in the comment section below. How do y'all feel about Donald Trump being the president? What do y'all think about Kamala Harris losing? Post those comments down below, and I'll check you out in my next video. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching. I appreciate every last single one of y'all. It has been great to watch this channel grow and all that good stuff. See y'all in my next video. Peace out. You know what? There was one more thing I forgot to add to this video. When it comes down to it, I think that people back in 2020, whatever year that Joe Biden was elected president, I think people cared more about getting Donald Trump out of the White House than they cared about getting Joe Biden into the White House. I don't really think people really gave a damn about Joe Biden. I'm sorry. I think people just wanted to get Trump out of the White House. That's the only reason they voted for Joe Biden, because he was the only candidate left on the table that you could vote for. And obviously, in shocking fashion, there's a lot of people this time around that were dropping like flies when it came to Trump stepping up to be president. I don't think because of all the trouble that he's been in that people were going to vote for him, but obviously it happened. I didn't think he was serious about trying to run again, but obviously he was, and boom, now he's back in the White House. So that's what I think the case was back when Joe Biden became president. I think a lot of people were more concerned with just getting Trump out of the White House than they were trying to get Joe Biden in the White House. And obviously we saw where everything is going, and now people have decided, you know what, we want somebody else to run for president, and we want somebody else to be the president, and it's not Kamala Harris. Joe Biden definitely ain't you again. It is Donald Trump. So that's who we got. So yeah, that's all I had to say. See you on my next video.